What's up with the guys? Your boy here, Cali Muscle. On the hustle as usual.
Cali Muscle came from the golden era of YouTube fitness guys, and many of his peers have unfortunately died. But he himself has suffered multiple scares, and it's clear that his physique at his prime came with a hefty price.
January 17th, I had another heart attack. Not at home, not asleep, at the gym.
60, so 45.
The place where everyone thinks they're healthy, right? This isn't a flex. This isn't a sob story. This is a warning from someone who loves training.
This was his second heart attack, and other fitness YouTubers have been sounding the alarm about his lifestyle for years.
We're not going to talk about any of that stuff, right? Going to talk about how he's trying to kill you guys and give you guys heart attacks. I'm not even playing it.
He says, I want to do anything to live, yet they're telling him to inject testosterone every 2 weeks, which makes absolutely no sense.
And yeah, you can maintain a good lean body composition that looks great when you have this much muscle, even eating like ridiculous amounts of food, because that's like what it takes to fuel the machine, but it's not going to be good for your heart.
And Cali Muscle's story serves as a terrifying reminder that having the perfect body and having the perfect health are two very different things. The first thing you need to know is that Cali Muscle wasn't just some skinny guy who took a lot of roids, but someone who was already born with very good athletic genetics. During his childhood, he saw the NFL as a ticket out of the dangerous life he led growing up in Oakland, California.
I was about 8 to 10. As kids, it was so fast, we always in the window, in the curtains, looking out. Ooh, what's going on? Ooh. Right? So a dude got his head blew off right in front of my house. My mother grabbed me by the throat, man. Like, hey, mother, you get out my goddamn curtains and mind your business. That lesson took me all through my life.
And despite this background, Cali Muscle was on the right track in life and about to get a scholarship and go to college. But then tragedy struck.
And I wanted to be like my older brother. He was 4 years older than me, a genius, 4.5 student. He ended up going to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo on an engineering scholarship. And so I was Mr. Everything. I was a senior class president, graduated 3.83 overall, GPA in the newspaper for sports, football, wrestling, track. And what happened my senior year...
So this is 1993 now, fast forwarding. Roughly.
Right, so 1993, my senior year, my brother committed...
Okay.
That changed me. I went dark. I was a youth pastor, believed in God, preached God, and I stopped believing in God, kind of, when that happened.
Okay.
Cali did go on to college, but started indulging in some of the reckless behavior he had managed to avoid during his teenage years. By went dark, he meant robbing people at ATMs. However, in 1994, at 19 years of age, this lifestyle caught up with him.
At 19, went on a robbery spree by myself and ended up going on a run. And my parents like, you go on a run the rest of your life or you can deal with it young. So I turned myself in.
Ultimately, Cali was sentenced to 11 years behind bars. But here we have another interesting aspect of Cali Muscle's character. Going to prison for most people would be life-shattering. Cali enjoyed it.
And it was just my whole life was structured. So when I got to jail, I'm like, oh, I felt like I belonged there. It was weird. Yeah.
Because you were already used to waking up early and having lunch at this time, dinner at this time, working out this time, all that.
2 years into his sentence, the prison decided to ban the use of weights. This forced Cali to become an expert in building and maintaining muscle through different means. So, by pure accident, he trained himself to become an expert in calisthenics, or body weight training.
And so they took the weights, but we improvised. Before they took the weights, I wrote basically a book of what I need to do to sustain my muscle until I get out. And so I would, use water bags, people on my shoulders, pull-ups, dips.
Cali only ended up serving 7 years of this sentence and was released in 2001. And because of his physique, he got a job as a personal trainer. He also, quite controversially, became a male stripper too. However, prison wasn't a big enough deterrent for him to leave the life of crime behind either. In the 2000s, he also spent time drug dealing and working as a PIMP and was in and out of jail on 4 different occasions. But in 2008, the world was first introduced to his fitness persona, Cali Muscle.
See, I'm out here solo bolo, man, because in the town, that's how we rep. We don't need no crew. You better be able to ride on your lonesome out here, man. Here we go. Up. 1, 2, 3.
And the following year, he entered a now life-changing bodybuilding competition.
I had started doing shows in 2009, right before I moved to LA. And first show I won out of 30 motherfuckers. So, so I'm like, damn, I could do this.
Got you your pro card, or did you?
No, I never got my pro
Okay.
card. So I was 34 at that point. And so I won that show. I'm like, oh, this might be some money to be made.
But here, Cali learned a vital lesson. Most bodybuilders are broke.
We see the guy that's benching 770 pounds, man. Hey, that should be some millionaire right there. But it ain't. Who making the bread in this, bro? The ones that look good and got a mouthpiece. To me,
Bodybuilding on its own wasn't enough to make money, but it was the springboard onto other lucrative forms of income. Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prolific acting career in the 80s and 90s was the prime example of this model, although very hard to achieve. Having now moved to LA, Cali got some acting work in commercials, most famously in this Geico ad directing traffic. Through bodybuilding competitions, YouTube, and acting, Cali Muscle built a brand. And while there were thousands of people on YouTube showing you how to get big now, at the time, there weren't very many. And at that time, Cali certainly stood out. He promoted a very inclusive message that you didn't necessarily need a gym membership to get in shape.
and this video is to everybody out there that's just complaining about life, about not having enough money, about not being fit in shape. It's all up to you, homie. Just like when God put me to change my life for the better, that's what I did. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no excuses over here.
And instead of purchasing expensive supplements, he recommended his prison diet of ramen and tuna, which anyone could afford.
$2.30. You hear? For all y'all out there on welfare and all that, kids in college, this right here for me, I'm a big man, you see? So that's one meal for me. That's 2 days worth of meals for y'all skinny motherfuckers out there.
And even though his new life in entertainment might seem like a different world from the one he lived before, he seemed to adjust very well.
I like the fact that you quite clearly took the same energy that you had for dealing and drug trafficking and pimping and all this stuff and just took that same exact thing with YouTube. Like, it's the same thing. It's a hustle. You got to figure out every little piece of it to make your hustle better.
Yeah.
Cali Muscle's success was unbelievable in every sense of the word. His story was inspiring and admirable, but there was one aspect of his story that simply didn't add up. On his Facebook page, he wrote, 19 years old, incarcerated at Delano State Prison. After being locked up for 1.5 years, this was the first time I saw what my body had become from daily exercising and eating 4 top ramen a day, a couple of honey buns, 1 to 2 cans of tuna, and the meals the prison provided. I would have to say that I was consuming about 4,000 calories a day. I never heard of any black person in prison taking steroids. Steroids were never even spoke about in prison amongst the blacks, nor was it even a thought of why an inmate was swole. People today ask me why I don't take supplements, and the reason is because I didn't take supplements in prison, and when I got out of prison, I was bigger than everyone that called themselves bodybuilders on the streets. What most of you don't know is that all competitive bodybuilders drop all supplements before a competition. So if supplements supposed to be good for you, then why do competitive bodybuilders drop supplements before a competition? So despite having a physique that looked like this, he supposedly used 0 performance-enhancing drugs and was completely natural. And while it would be easy to dismiss him as a fake or a fraud on this basis, there is a bit more nuance to it than that, because at this time, being caught using was a death sentence for your YouTube fitness influencer career. Everybody was lying about it. It wouldn't be until recently, as of the past 7 or so years, where this community shifted in the complete opposite direction with people outspoken about their usage. But on a Reddit post about his alleged use, one person wrote, "Yes, he's clearly on steroids." That doesn't distract from his achievement of anything, of course. It still takes a ton of work. Cali also had a criminal background, so speaking on YouTube about taking illegal substances was probably not a wise decision either. Beyond that, he also got a pass on this because of all the goodwill he got from his life story and the message he was promoting.
My sole purpose on this earth is to help the kids. I started my foundation, Ex-Con to Icon, where I'm going into juvenile halls, prisons, CYAs. I'm going to the inner city schools where people don't want to go. And I'm showing these kids that, hey, you don't have to use the negativity that you involved in your community for negativity.
The strange thing was that in 2018, Cali suddenly lost a ton of muscle, which raised a lot of eyebrows. He then released a video which heavily implied that he had been using substances.
Anybody that knows bodybuilding, compete in bodybuilder shows, you have to take performance enhancing stuff. It just bottom line.
But the reason why he lost so much muscle taps into something that a lot of bodybuilders don't openly talk about.
I'm working on having kids, man, a family, because, I'm getting up in age and I need to leave a legacy. I want to leave kids behind, a part of me. So when you see most of these guys that's doing all these shows, a lot of them don't have kids because they shut down their sperm and all that. So it's a lot involved in those. If your mind is open, you can feel where I'm coming from.
And Cali's decision to trim down was met with sighs of relief from the fitness community.
I wanted to share my thoughts on Cali Muscle losing some gains. So to be straight to the point, I'm genuinely happy for him. I think that what he has done is a tremendous opportunity to expand his health and longevity. This was absolutely the correct move. Many of you don't realize this, but Cali's in his 40s. So it's not really that healthy being that heavy, that muscular, and taking that much supplements. So the fact that he has cut down to a smaller size is a great, great, great thing. And as I'm always talking about on this channel, health is number one. What's the point of having this large career, having all this money, all this fame, if you're going to die at a young age? And I think that in this year in particular, there's so many deaths surrounding bodybuilding that it made Cali realize that he was not going down the right path.
There were a lot of horror stories circulating around the time, like Rich Piano, who was getting his haircut from his girlfriend, fell into a coma and died 2 weeks later. Cali also decided to move away from bodybuilding on YouTube and move into a completely different lane.
Gaming is where it's at. That's where the real money at. When you got a boy like Ninja skinny. He don't even have to work out. He don't even barely eat. Playing games all day. $500,000 a month. Not a year. A month. What bodybuilder come close to that? None. So, I'm about business, man.
However, this epiphany of cutting down his muscle only seemed to last so long. In 2019 and 2020, Cali was back to being huge once again. And to make matters worse, he started doing what became known as mukbangs.
Yo, what's up with it, guys? So as y'all seen already, we went to Wendy's. Yes, we got one of everything. And I think they might have just screwed me on one hamburger.
There are videos like the KFC mukbang, which have millions of views. So these incredibly unhealthy videos were keeping him relevant. And by calling himself Cali Muscle, he trapped himself into keeping his body at the same size, despite the health risks that came with maintaining this image. You could argue that he could have used all the money he made in the 2010s to build up other businesses, but he also seemed to enjoy the limelight.
And streaming just allowed me to be wild, just reckless, say all type of bizarre stuff. And I was making like $1,000 a day just in donations.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I'm like, shoot. I kept doing that for like 4 years. And I'll do a workout here and there, whatever. And so that started dipping because I was on Twitch and YouTube. And so what happened is a lot of people don't know, bro. So most of my income now is from Facebook.
Really?
99% of the world don't even know what's going on.
I know, isn't it crazy? I hear about that from people. For us, it's like impossible to stay monetized on there. They just take it away all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that's where all your money comes from.
Yeah, majority of it's from Facebook. And So what happened was I started posting my old videos on Facebook. Once they sent out that email, like a couple of years, it'd been 2-3 years ago.
Right.
I was going viral on Facebook. I'm talking about YouTube was like, and people, they try to clown me when I say it, but it was like gas money compared to Facebook.
And it was 6 months after this No Jumper interview that this lifestyle finally caught up with him.
Yo, what's up with it, guys? Your boy, man, had a heart attack. For years, man, I had a problem with edema in my feet and ankles. And, you know, I was younger. I didn't think much of it or whatever. But, you know, people used to tell me that's a sign of heart failure or whatever. You know, of course, being a tough, you ignore people saying that, like, man, I ain't got no heart problems or nothing like that.
Callie had a blockage in the biggest artery of his heart, which is a type of heart attack ominously known as a widowmaker. And Derek from More Plates, More Dates sent out a warning to people going down the same path.
If you are an individual who is walking around into your 40s trying to maintain bodybuilder level size, that's going to be the most stressful thing on your organs overall, in my opinion, even above and beyond the direct stress of being on gear in general. Body mass is like a huge predictor of mortality. If you're a giant human, the amount of oxygen, blood, nutrients, everything you need to supply your body, the demands on your body in general are so much higher, you're going to die much quicker. Any individual, how many bodybuilders have you seen that have tried to maintain their size pass away early?
The bodybuilder Sean Roden served as a serious reminder of just how lucky Callie Muscle was. He was the exact same age as Callie Muscle, and in the exact same month that Callie got his heart attack, Roden got one too, but he didn't survive. There are horror stories like these, but also data. In 2025, the European Heart Journal looked at the deaths of bodybuilders and found that sudden cardiac deaths accounted for 38%. As well as taking gear, Callie's mukbangs certainly didn't help.
With Callie Muscle, is this just the gear? Is it just the being jacked as hell? Or is it also that this guy has a complete trash lifestyle at the end of the day? If you think that you're going to be free of plaque buildup when you're doing a super inflammatory sport like bodybuilding, that's just like so problematic from so many different aspects, and then you're also posting like this. I ate one of everything at Arby's. One of everything, bro. And yeah, you can maintain a good lean body composition that looks great when you have this much muscle, even eating like ridiculous amounts of food, because that's like what it takes to fuel the machine, but it's not going to be good for your heart.
Another big lesson was that if Callie was going to take these risks, he should have been doing regular medical checks, blood work.
A lot of people, you would find this out ahead of time if you're proactive about not just blood work, but organ imaging, getting high quality medical oversight. Again, this is that is happening because people just aren't taking their health seriously when they're doing stuff that's highly risky.
So Callie learned the hard way that he needed to get his lifestyle in order and embrace healthy living. However, here's where he made another wrong move. Instead of embracing a balanced diet, he simply went from one extreme to the other.
So all my years of life, I've been eating food to clog me up. I had an epiphany, like I need to lay off everything but salmon and spinach. So I did that for a year straight, and I added in fruits. So I seen a video of this young guy, Bobby Smith, and he was just eating watermelon and just made it look so enticing. He said he was on like 68 days or 70 days of straight watermelon. Hopped in the challenge, man, and we became friends.
So this diet is called Fruitarian and is very similar to the carnivore diet, which also promotes a very limited set of food for supposed health reasons. Both of these are really cults.
Let me tell you some obvious things to look for when trying to spot out misinformation, right? Number one size fits all type attitude or information. Like it's one thing. One thing. Guys, we know this. I'm not even gonna waste your time. You cannot beat a balanced diet. You cannot. You cannot beat a balanced diet. Like I said before, I don't really care if you're doing keto. I don't care if you're doing carnivore, if it's macros. I don't care what the diet it is. if you can get all of your macronutrients and all your micronutrients in your day, in your calories, you're good. But leaving out certain macronutrients just for some fad, it makes me so cringe.
As well as the watermelon diet, Cali was telling his audience that he gets up at 2 a.m. to start a workout. And Tiger Fitness said that this watermelon diet and new sleep routine was going to give people heart attacks.
We're not going to talk about any of that stuff, right? Going to talk about how he's trying to kill you guys and give you guys heart attacks. I'm not even playing. It's bad enough when you don't get enough sleep, guys. Your body shuts down so much that the American Heart Association has put lack of sleep as one of the causes for heart disease and heart issues.
But a much more worrying move was that once he had recovered from this heart attack, he thought he could stop taking his meds.
Tell us about why you stopped your medicine.
Bro, like, all these medications do almost the same thing. So I'm like, man, I got to take my life in control of my own life.
I'm telling you, I'm worried you're going to come off all the medicines like people do and something bad's going to happen.
Oh, no.
And that's it.
Be positive.
Cali also showed signs that less money was coming in, or at the very least, he was eager to make more money. In 2023, he had this suspicious car raffle where the information on the competition was regularly updated and changed.
This is what I captured, and like you guys see here, this is 11 days to go. So this had to have been changed probably like a couple days before.
The prize was originally a Dodge Charger Hellcat. Then it was changed to an option of the car or $30,000, which in 2023 made no sense whatsoever.
And why $30,000? That's not even like comparable. That's like $30,000 probably won't even get you like a Honda Accord. Like, what is this? I don't know. This is giving me like something, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how he came up with the $30,000 valuation because that car is over $100,000.
Like many influencers, he also launched his own crypto coin and was called out by YouTuber John Bravo when the inevitable happened.
So for some of you who may not know, Kali Muscle comes out with the Kali Muscle crypto coin. You buy the coin, he says you're going to get rich, things are going to happen, right? And he just came out with this a few weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I made a video last week saying, I hope it's not a scam. You know, I hope he has good intentions, right? And I hope people don't lose money. And I hope I was wrong making the video. But just now, 1 week later, he goes on live and he's like, look at the charts of the crypto coin. I'm going to show them here on screen. It's crashed down to nothing. All the people who invested the money in this coin lost all their money.
Had to hop on here today right quick because yesterday I didn't know that my coin had took a dump. And, you know, I had to do some explaining because people did invest in the coin, you know what I mean? And I have all my coins. So I see it took a big dump, man. And I don't want nobody thinking, you know, I'm scamming or whatever. The coin is still, it still has some market cap on it, but nothing like it was.
So Cali was losing interest due to being less muscular, but he was also losing a lot of goodwill from stunts like this, and the prime of views that he was getting was nearly a decade ago. On top of that, Cali convinced himself that he could get back to using substances once again, but with smaller doses.
I do like a half a cc every other week. So you're looking at, I do about 250 mgs a month.
In a video unambiguously titled Cali Muscle on his way to another heart attack, the fitness YouTuber Greg Doucette responded.
He says, I want to do anything to live, yet they're telling him to inject testosterone every 2 weeks, which makes absolutely no sense. If you talk to anyone that knows anything about testosterone, they're going to tell you it's not smart to inject large doses infrequently. I mean, think of it. Let's use a larger example. Would you just inject your entire year's worth of testosterone once a year to save time? Oh, I'm going to do 100 milligrams a week. I'll just inject 5,200 milligrams once every year. Of course not.
And sadly, in 2026, Greg Doucette's prediction came true.
This isn't a flex. This isn't a sob story. This is a warning from someone who loves training. I trained hard for years. I pushed the limits. And I'm telling you right now, if you think more drugs, more steroids, more intensity mean a better quality of life, then you're mistaken, because I thought the same thing. Muscles don't mean immortality. A strong body that doesn't cancel bad choices, and your heart keeps scores quietly.
Callie then explained what was wrong with the fruitarian diet and his decision to stop taking his meds.
And so, boom, I'd stopped my medication. I just went on this fruitarian, super healthy lifestyle, only eating once a day mostly. And, you know, everybody was clowning me. I got super sucked up and skinny and ripped. And I thought I was doing the right thing. Firstly, I had a widowmaker and I had a stent in. I wasn't supposed to stop my med, come to find out. And I just still wasn't doing the right thing. Now that this happened, I know, right?
And he went into unsettling detail about what happened on that day.
And so fast forward to January 17th, I had already worked out in the morning, which I could show you guys some clips. And Big Boy told me he was going to work out at Cerritos gym. I'm like, oh, I'm in. I don't have nothing to do today. My wife taking care of the kids or whatever. So I went to Cerritos. Now, before I went to the gym, I banged my finger. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. So I smashed my finger in the door. So that was really a sign that something was off. I've never did that in my life. And so when I did it, I'm like, man, I shouldn't even go to the gym. This gonna mess me up mentally. And so I went against my thoughts and I went anyway. Now, I'm gonna let you guys know, I don't remember getting to the gym, nothing. It's like, I don't know if when I hit my head, I forgot my memory left or what, but I got footage, which I'm gonna show you guys now.
Yup. What was that, Kelly?
How many?
What was that? 60? So 45. Oh.
You would hope by now that Callie Muscle had finally learned his lesson this time around. His best move forward now would be to be what he was in the early days of YouTube and be a positive influence on men that are about to go down the same path, but know that there's another way, and that really, when you have a health problem, that becomes your only problem.
I had to do this video to let you guys know that this is serious business, man. Your health, you know, just think, I got 5-year-old twins, 6 now. They just turned 6 on Christmas. 6-year-old twins, they would have been fatherless. My wife would have been a widow. You know, it's just all because of my past mistakes. You know, with eating wrong, then bodybuilding, doing steroids, and all this nonsense, bro, to be honest. You know, when you look at, and you know, I hate to say this, but when you look at competitive bodybuilding, well, we could count in 20 years, 10 dudes who made real money. It don't make sense. I can understand you want to be fit and in shape. You could do that naturally. I was super jacked. At 34, never touched nothing in my life. Didn't even drink pre-workout. So it's possible. You don't have to take steroids to look phenomenal. You just have to dial in your nutrition and optimize your training. And you can't just think you know. You got to get with elite people that have done it. So if you're watching this, slow down, get checked, train smarter. I want you here longer, man. Your family wants you here longer. And I want you to learn this lesson without almost dying. I'm still fighting, man. I'm fighting for life. I'm fighting to be here with my kids. I want to be here with them like 20 more years at least. I want to be here for you guys, give you game, knowledge, wisdom. You know,